Hello and welcome to Zirkzank Says. It's been 1,202 days since the last episode video upload into this series. And after a while, I started to realize, it's been a while, so I need to come back with something big, something powerful, and something hard and fast and strong and concise and without any interruptions, without any arms, and without any editing as well. I was planning to put editing in, but I realized I don't want to, so I won't. The main reason I'm making this video today now, as opposed to waiting, as I initially planned to, when I was trying to conceptualize, I'll come back and make a video when I've got something to actually make a video about. That'll be cool. That's what I had planned. Then I very quickly, eventually, I'm trying to talk too fast here. I'm talking quickly, but I'm saying that my thinking had been very slow, and I eventually realized this is, you study any field of philosophy, they'll tell you that the best time to act is always now. Waiting for a better time to do anything, it's like you might get better in the future. It might be better to build a house when the volcano has stopped erupting, or an earthquake. That's a bad example, but essentially the best time to do something that you want to do is usually right away. Sometimes you need to do prep work, whatever, but for something like this, it was just a silly excuse I put in my mind to keep procrastinating on making videos. However, it was a very effective argument. I could still convince myself even today to continue making videos, but at some point I had a plan to return with what everyone has been asking for, what is essentially the most popular thing in the current year, which is ASMR. And so I started collecting various packets of seaweed so I could make a seaweed eating ASMR video. I'm not sponsored by these seaweed companies, so I don't know if showing them is against any terms of service. But one of the main things that I realized is that seaweed has an expiration date, and so being that this is like getting out of date, I have to hurry up and make this video soon. So that's it's time to dig into this. Plus, I'm kind of hungry, so I wanted to begin with this. I'm not gonna edit out this crackling, so you probably want to pause the video for about 20 seconds. I think I can open these and in 20 seconds mute the video. Holy shit. Fucking insane. I just ripped through these. That's it, stacks of seaweed. They do the same thing inside, but they have different outer shells. Just like human beings. It's pretty deep. Is this good content? I wonder if this is the one that's out of date. See if I can tell just by taste, because I've jumbled these up now. Okay, I think this one is out of date. There's nothing noticeably different on a visual level, but flavor-wise, this was much worse than this one. And I realized the packets look the same when I hold them up, but that's part of the joke. No, this is the out of date one. That's the old one. That's very old. This is some old seaweed. You can hear how old that one is. Okay, that's enough of that segment. Yeah, basically, life just happens. I had a lot of free time when I was at university, and that changed very little afterwards until more things, the sudden PTSD of thinking about all of that essentially rendered me right now unable to even begin conceptualizing that nothing particularly bad or traumatic happened in the time span since the last time I've made content, other than perhaps moving away from home and having to pay rent and bills and having to work jobs to make money. So those aspects of life genuinely have, I think, emotionally scarred me and given me permanent psychological damage. And I know that's boo-hoo. That's life. Get over it. No, fuck you. I don't think that is a very healthy part of life. Living in society, being forced to work in environments that do not facilitate for any of the natural human instincts to socialize and to collaborate. Every aspect of the work that you're doing is somehow disconnected from the end result. It's meaningless on a fundamental psychological level, and then on top of that, the money that you get for doing it is just not worth the time investment. And I'm mainly even talking about skilled work, whatever range that is, like twice, 3 times, 4 times, whatever minimum wage is, if that's a thing. It's not enough to justify it. It's really not. And so that took me a while to recover from that. Not to say that I have or ever will, but being self-employed for almost a year, a few months away from that, making games, it's not been profitable. I've been using savings to do it, but I'm already more able to come back to doing this as opposed to before, where I don't think I could even speak without quivering in the corner and shitting myself. I was like an abused dog at a rescue shelter. It wasn't that bad, but that's how I felt in my head. Trying to dramatize it, even though this is something that, what I'm saying is, sadly, that's what everyone is going through. Like 99% of people are experiencing this, but because it's sort of kind of become conceptualized as that's just normal, that's just life in society. It's like, it is what it is. Like, cool, you're gonna accept the suffering. Like, yeah, that's Stockholm syndrome, I believe. I'm gonna have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. You just accept it because you don't know any better. And I don't think that that's good. That's definitely not for me. Some people enjoy it. Some people are submissive enough to enjoy being bossed around, and their minds are too simple to extract out and decide that, yeah, this is... I think some people really do lack direction without having some kind of consistent employment. And not to say everyone hates their job, but if you're doing work that you hate and you don't have any coping mechanism, it will just kill you. And if the work itself doesn't kill you, the coping mechanism will. In, for example, the city I'm in, I think the main reason most people get by here with such terrible work and such a terrible environment is due to substance abuse, which that can become its own story for another time. Just the experiences within this shithole city that I've been staying in for the past 5 years. There's a lot I want to discuss when I get into making these videos again, but primarily I want to get back to the point where I can just talk about anything on an internet platform, because it mainly just feels good to do. The strange aspect of wondering, why am I even doing this? Who is this even for? Well, it's for me, actually. So it's good to see criticism, and it's good to see people sharing ideas. but I mainly do it because I want to think things through, and this forces a different type of thinking process to just simply writing it down. I think that the expression and intonation of voice, if I have that still, I don't know. I feel like I lost a lot of it over time, from not interacting with people for like 5 years, other than a few times. I can still talk, I think. Practicing this through making videos, though, is what I'm trying to say is a useful skill, and it changes the mentality. It gives more confidence in speaking. It's a useful skill, and I recommend everyone to do this. I've always been saying, I think everyone that I know and like, and even people I don't know, seeing that video is just watching long form discussions and thoughts and ideas like this, just rambling. It's interesting. I think it's a really good way for people to express their own ideas and then to share them with other people. It allows us to connect. This is what Facebook and other platforms are supposed to be, as opposed to just platforms for people to try and shit on each other. It's what I mostly see online nowadays. Once again, I'm coming at this video with like 50 things I want to discuss, but mainly I have to finish this seaweed, and I don't think it actually would make a good ASMR video, but we'll see. Maybe I'll make like some poetry, some like seaweed based poetry. But yes, that's the end of this episode. 1,202 days later. I'll be making another video in a few years, just to comment on what I wanted to comment on. So I look forward to seeing the next one.